Hey class. So today we will be installing Ladybug and Honeybee into your Rhino 7. It's a little bit more involved of a process than your typical Grasshopper plugin, so I figured on top of the email I sent out, I would put together a little video walking you through all the steps. So the first is to go to the Food for Rhino website, the Ladybug tools page, and for this next assignment, we will be using the legacy plugins, and then hopefully moving forward, start using the updated Ladybug tool version. But honestly, there's not a ton of tutorials out there that I can reference to recreate the script I had. So I had a script built that used these legacy plugins. They're tried and true. They'll get the job done. And when you install Ladybug 1.4, it can be installed alongside the legacy versions, so they can both be on your Grasshopper. So we will download the legacy, and then honestly, since we're here, might as well download the 1.4 and have the latest ones on your desktop as well. Let's go to our downloads page. Let's extract these. All right, and then we'll open up Rhino while we're waiting. All right, so Ladybug tools. So for future reference, when you download these plugins, especially plugins that are kind of written for or written by they're really good coders, but they might not be a proper company, or they might just not have the ability to create installation setup super user friendly. So if it ever comes with a installation instructions, I would highly recommend following it, and then you can reference everything that it says. So for the 1.4 installation, basically says download the latest version, and then inside the installation file, the installer file, this guy here, we're gonna set these guys to true. So we'll walk through that right now. So in your Rhino window, open up Grasshopper. And then we are going to open 1.4, open the installer, and then let's say go to the first, set it to true. All right, so we're gonna toggle this to true. All right. So it's run, so now we're going to toggle this to true. And I think this was the one that takes a little bit longer. While we're waiting, we can go back to our downloads, look at the Ladybug Legacy, open this guy up. So this has the same instruction. It has an MD, but if you right click, open with, and then toggle to your notepad, it will open up. And then this is the same thing. All right, so I just heard a ding, so I believe that means that you should get this guy once it installs. So we'll have to restart Rhino to load all the new components. So let's look at all that. So let's close out and close out of Rhino. Don't have to save that. And then let's reopen Rhino. All right, and then in our installation instructions for the legacy, we can just copy and paste. Now, oops. So for Ladybug, basically all of this says is that you're gonna do what we'll do in a bit, which is basically drag all the components into your Grasshopper space. And then for Honeybee, really all you gotta install is this Radiance file and this guy down here, number 10, which I outline in the email that I sent you guys. Now you can obviously install DaySim, OpenStudio, and Berkeley Therm, but for what we're using in the next assignment and lecture, you won't need it. So as you can see, we got all three of these, Grasshopper, Honeybee, and Ladybug. So if we go back to our Rhino, open up Grasshopper, all right, and then we just take our file. Let's drag this in. This is saying basically I already have one, so skip all. And then we'll do this for Honeybee. So we're gonna select all of these, drag them in. Wait a second. All right, so we have Honeybee, which will show up here as HB Legacy. And then Ladybug, same thing. We're gonna select all, drag them in, and wait. All right, and then you can see the Ladybug Legacy up here. You should have all these components. Same thing with the Honeybee, all these components. And then also you'll have Ladybug and all the different, and Honeybee and all the things that come in with the 1.4. So we can close out of Rhino, and make sure that you close out and restart Rhino before you start moving forward with the tutorial, just because when you install things like that, it needs to restart. All right, and then now the next thing on the email page is this Radiance. So download the Radiance file. So if we click that, there we go. All right, so if we open this guy up, hit next, I agree, do not add, and then we're just going to do that. Basically just put it on directly on our C drive, hit next, install. All right, hit finish. It is a pretty quick one. And then we are also going to take this file, download this file, and we're going to copy it from our downloads, go and navigate to our newly created Radiance folder in our C drive, go to the bin, and then if you do not have it already, paste it in, and there it is. If you already have it, great. If not, there you go. All right, so that is all you need to do for next class. Oh, and I will also say, so I put this in the email. You'll need what's called an EPW file. This will have all of the weather data associated with the location that what your project is going to be located at. So I'm going to be using the Charlotte weather data, but obviously you can use wherever. So quickly, if we just open this up, and also if you just type in EPW files on Google, it's the first one that pops up. So this is what you can find. So obviously you can scroll in and find your different locations, or you can go to the top right and type in a location. And then if you select one of these and say download from the DOE, Department of Energy, Then you'll have the zip file, which if you extract and go into, you'll see it gives you a range of files, and one of those is the EPW file, which we will be using within the tutorial. So that should cover everything as far as setup goes for the next Ladybug and Honeybee tutorial. So let me know if you have any questions, and if not, then I will talk to you in the next lecture.